Hello everybody, welcome back to Whimsicraft. Today we have dug out the tunnels a bit more, as you can see, and we're going to be working on them a bunch. First things first, I want to hop over to a different part of my base where I've been hard at work, finishing it off. Yes indeed, right over here everybody, we have something that is pretty cool. This is something that I promised to make a while back, and I'm kind of happy that I've got on with it because I think it's quite nice. I fly out with FreeCam, we can really see that it just fills up the space. And that's exactly what we needed here. We didn't need any of huge features, something that takes up a bunch of space. We just need to have something. And this something I'm quite happy with. Obviously the copper is yet to oxidize, but once it does, we'll have something very, very cool. And one thing I did try and do here was kind of introduce a lot of lines. So we've got power cable lines, we've got redstone lines, more redstone lines, chain lines, and what it kind of does is it makes this area kind of feel very full because there's lots of long things. If it was lots of dots, there'd be so much air here, but because they're kind of filled up with lines, I think it works very nicely. Yeah, I guess, did this over a couple of days actually, just kind of playing with different things, gathering all the blocks that we needed, and then ended up coming out very nicely. Anyway, what I want to do next is I want to go over to this beacon, but more specifically I want to have a yap with some neighbours. The underground tunnels are in the cardinal directions, and they happen to move towards two lovely people who I just had a chat with, so let's go and listen to that.
Yeah, some of the details that Toby shared about his future plans, just little hints and teasers. That's what's powering my city. There's I'm thinking kind of a somewhat fantasy pseudo electricity power bank battery thing that they're using to actually charge things.
Yeah, so
that sounds awesome. I'm all for that.
So I think specifically the idea was with this I guess in my lore, I kind of described it as you're kind of taking from this as a power source, but you don't necessarily own or control it, in a sense.
No.
And so my idea was that, well, maybe I in some way could be the origin of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is almost just re-explaining the lore part of the last video, but it was basically that if some powerful wizard has made this, can the modern day take advantage of it? And in a way, I've almost said that, well, this place has taken advantage of it. But in a way, the people who are building the crane and such haven't been able to take advantage of it. That lore connection, I think that's cool. But in terms of block palette connection, it's slightly more interesting because we kind of have two separate places that we've talked about. And I think we should go and fly over in this direction for 2 seconds, because I guess we had this idea that the wizard tower and forest are owned by the wizard that originally created the resin. And so in that sense, can there be some kind of gradient between a place that has historically had resin and a place that's currently using it, and somehow these modernists have not been able to take advantage of it, and that's where this enormous stretch of forest could potentially have something happening in it. And I think that's a really interesting thing that has a huge amount of possibility. Yeah, if we take a quick journey to my beacon, and I think this is probably the best thing that we can do, because
I am curious real quick, Toby. Did you perchance make this tunnel the exact same size as my sewer on purpose?
Yes, I did.
Yes. As soon as I saw this, I went, oh.
Yeah. It is the exact correct measurements that we could seamlessly join together.
A nice little dramatic kind of reservoir and flushing connection for sure.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I didn't think of anything as fancy as that. But
I've watched too much Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We have
I know all this.
It's like 300 blocks or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could do anything down here. But also,
yeah.
this is where LTP comes in. Because
Hey.
something on the other side is labeled train station. And this tunnel happens to go straight towards your base.
Yeah, I am so down for that. It's great that this is coming towards the river. The grand scale vision for my area is decaying industrial. Long ago, there were these massive structures with a purpose. For example, near the water was water filtration for this industrial campus. This has since been abandoned, long decayed, and that's where the marshy thing comes. So in Spaghetti's botanical garden, I built that plant that grows in the marsh. That was a test for what I'm expecting to put on the coast of the river. Along with structures underneath that suck water out of the river, filter it, use it as cooling, and then another pipe closer to my shelter, your tower, that kind of puts wastewater back in. I'm taking inspiration from a game called Rain World, where it's been an undetermined amount of time, thousands of years or something. Just giant wreckage of rusted pipes and twisted metal, and it's what happened? What did this used to be?
Yeah. So closer to post-apocalyptic?
I guess. Post, where nature has reclaimed it, and so the metal was broken down with moss and fungus. That diluted into the earth. The trees that grow now have metal inside them, which is why they look twisted and metallic, and copper grates as leaves. All this.
Is the vision for the timeline that your base happened first, and then the wizards came along, built their shrines, and then they were taken by nature, and finally the modern people arrived? Finn's modern people could take advantage of the resin, and mine can't.
We can do that. I can work into that. If that's what would fit you guys well.
Well, the point is that you're not fitting anything. You're the beginning, and we're building from you. And I guess you don't even necessarily need to have a direct connection. It's just kind of this whole idea. Maybe your place is the origin of the resin, and it's the wizards who could control it. Or maybe
I was just about to say that, because there's a concept I never quite figured out for myself for the story this season, which is in Rain World they were drilling for this thing called void fluid, and I just really like that idea. There's these massive drills going deep into the earth and pumping out this fluid, and having a resin analog would be perfect. That's exactly what I've been looking for. Overall, very excited. I'm still settling on what colors I want to use exactly. I can share some screenshots of creative mockups I've been doing.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so that's still in the working. I think a nice way for the tunnel, the tunnel as a bridge between your coloring and my coloring makes a lot of sense.
And we also have the surface, our two biomes. I know that your biome is going to be really interesting, and mine, of course, is rather basic, but it is still got quite a few different things happening in it. And so having some kind of gradient between them, whether it's just a normal fade gradient or whether there's something deeper going on. You had the idea of having pipes into the river. If they are spreading something, that would be really, really awesome.
You mean in the sense of something leaking out of them, like refuse over time?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure what exactly you had planned. But I think something happening with the river between us would be fairly awesome.
Agreed.
I'll see you guys around.
See you, Toby.
See ya.
Alrighty, everybody, for a 2-second recap of what we just said. Basically, the tunnel to Finn is going to be heavily decorated and very cool and be very long. And the tunnel to LTP, which is also going to be our train station, is going to be a little bit shorter, and it's going to be awesome. Both these tunnels are going to take inspiration from all of our block palettes. And these two are going to be storage, and one of them might even involve Crumb. But we haven't quite figured that out yet, so that is to come. Some pretty cool plans, but I actually want to start with storage, because it's the easy bit, and I've wanted to do something easy for now. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to hop over to a world that some of you people might not have seen before. Now this is a weird place to be. Yes, avid viewers of the channel will know that this is my hardcore world, and specifically a creative copy. And this is actually a really helpful place for me to look at because of storage. 2 of the tunnels are going to be storage tunnels filled with chests, and because basically my old storage area is getting too small. And so I want to look at this. Now the advantage of looking at this place is it's got a chest for every single group of items possible. Instead of wood being 1 double chest as it is in my own house, there is a chest for every single wood type. And similarly, if we fly over here, there's a chest for every single group of natural items. And it's just a really nice reference point because I built this organically. There are things that have been added over time to kind of really turn this into a useful storage place. And I think that's really, really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically write down everything that I've got in this storage system, categorize it, because some of these are a bit weirdly categorized, like this tools area is a bit odd. But yeah, I'm going to go back through, categorize it all, and hopefully we will come out with a really, really helpful organized storage system, which I can use. So yeah, I think what we want to do is do that right now. So it's exciting, reorganization, I don't know, I always really enjoy it. Let's go. Why am I standing on a lectern? Well, the point is that this is the way that I'm going to keep track of my entire storage system. I will not be using a redstone storage system. I think they're very cool, but I'm far too stupid to use them, and I don't trust them, so we're going for this. And what I need to do is I need to have a place for every single item in the game, and the way that I'm keeping track of that is with books. So for example, I would have wood, and then on the next page I'd have all the different oak variants. However, I quickly realized that, writing them myself is not the move. So what do? Well, as you can see on the screen, right now, yeah. I've been using Notepad and Word to keep track of things, and it's been horrible. Don't know why I didn't have any boots on. It's been horrible. However, I'm making huge amounts of progress. As you can see, all the woods are now categorized, so that's super cool. And I guess once it's all done, I can place down all the chests and we can get a feel for how many chests we're going to need, and that's going to be pretty cool. I haven't thought about bulk storage yet either, so that's going to be a fun thing to consider, but for now, I need to finish my categorization. I refuse to do all this categorization now. It's so painful. Oh my god, I'm just sitting there going tip tap, tip tap, tip tap, tip tap, next item, next item. No, I'm not doing all of it now. However, I have made some progress. I've done about half the categories, so let's show them off right now. Over here we have wood, which actually took ages to copy and paste because there were so many individual things. And then stones and all the different dirt things, and ground, I think I categorized that as the colorful things. Some other thing, yeah, there's a lot here, but that's okay. It's so many different things that I have decided that this index will kind of be complete, if you know what I mean. I'm going to have every single item in this index, and that means that it's going to be very useful for people because I've categorized it not by alphabetically or in the creative inventory order. I've just put it in a genuinely intuitive order that hopefully will be useful for me and therefore for other people. And that means that the full categorization, the full list of every single item in the order and categorized will be available. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to have the file for you guys to use, but this is going to be something that I'm going to make public because I think it's a genuinely helpful thing that hopefully people can get a use out of, because everything is here and it's organized, and I think that's really, really, really cool. Of course, the next thing I want to do is I want to figure out exactly how this storage is going to work, because obviously just shoving down lecterns is all well and good, but I actually need physical chests. And I need more than one physical chest. I need, like, you know, a good set of chests. If we hop over to my industrial district, then we can see the type of thing that I want to do, which is, you know, stacking chests up. And now there are two different ways to stack chests. You can have chests and then hoppers, or you can have chest hopper, chest hopper, chest hopper, chest hopper. I prefer it like this because it will always automatically trickle down. If I take a stack out, it will fill itself back in, which is obviously far more useful than it not doing that. So yeah, this is the type of thing that we're going to go for, and I think I want to make a small example thing. We're going to grab some bamboo from here, maybe a bit more than that actually, because, you know, might as well have too much than too little. Here, very slowly craft, take my chests, and then I can go back. Alrighty people, here's a bit of a representation of what things are going to look like. So you can see that we're going to have rows of chests, and then we're going to use lecterns to tell us what should be in the sections of chests. And it's going to be pretty organized and awesome, but as you can see, this is a bit weird with the vibes. But that's why copper can come in, because copper grates just instantly make things look, I don't know, industrial and cool. So yeah, that's the strat that I'm gonna employ. But of course, we do in fact have to actually start organization and apparently mine up everything that I've done. Yeah, I do actually think that the next stage is to just put in a section. So the wood section, which I've got labeled over here, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 double chests, which is a lot, or 13 rows of double chests, and each of these rows has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, so 14 times 13, that's a lot of chests. But I do want to get one of them in, and you have no idea how much iron I'm going to be stealing from Finn for this. Also, this thunderstorm is pretty cool. But yeah, I do want to get one section in just to get a feel for how big they are, because I feel like these are enormous. The wood one is the biggest section, along with natural items, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I guess we'll find out when I put all these chests in. Let's go. One word. Claustrophobic. But I think it's a good thing. And the reason why I think it's a good thing is simply because this is going to be a tunnel. Like, it's, at the end of the day, it's going to be drab. It's going to be, like, lots of water everywhere, rough walls. Like, this is going to not be necessarily a very pretty place. And so I think this kind of looming chests really add to the vibe. Obviously, these two tunnels will have looming chests, and then these two tunnels won't. But I think that makes it more interesting because variety is cool. That's what we want. And yeah, it's a lot of chests. I obviously skimped out on this side just to get a feel for it without actually placing them all in. It's crazy the number of chests that are here. And that is why I will probably be doing it on stream tomorrow, if you're watching this on the day of release. Anyway, yeah, sadly, I think this is all the time that I have for this video. It doesn't personally feel like I've made a whole ton of progress, but tunnel digging and making a short that apparently performs really well takes up time. So, yeah, it is time for me to end. So, people, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, all that fantastic stuff, and I'll see you guys next time, where hopefully this storage system will get filled, and we can do some more exciting stuff with these two tunnels. Maybe look at the block pallets from the other two friends, and yeah, I have awesome neighbors. Bye people, bye.